for them to make me presenter. Or while wearing still the hat of there are multiple roles that you can work as a consultant, you can work as a project coordinator, and if in future if you want, you can also work as a project manager by practicing couple of scenarios. Okay, so there's a lot of scope of work, there's a lot of roles you can play under the hat of BA. See, typically it happens that once you become a developer, for an example, you will be a developer by the end of the day. Okay, you don't have variety of roles, you don't have a lot of excitement at work, but BA gives you a lot of opportunities. Okay, so wearing the hat of BA, you can play varieties of roles. There are different careers that you can go for. Okay, you name that career and you can be a BA for it. Okay, like for an example, you can work as a sales BA, you can work as a marketing BA. Okay, you can even work into IT business analyst, you can work into banking business analyst. Okay, so you name it, the kind of role or the profile that you're looking out for, and you can easily get into as a BA. Okay, normal average salary of the BA, it can get started from 80,000. It can even, and it can be a situation where you may land up around 200,000 or 250,000. Okay, so there is no limitations for the BA. Okay, as long as you are able to justify your role, you know how you are able to sell your resume, you are able to sell yourself, you are able to portray a good image in the interview time, you know the people management skills, you understand the maturity of this role. And if you know it very well, you can understand that, you can see a projection, okay, then you can play a role of the PA. Okay, there is no prerequisite for it. There is a myth in the market that people should be a management degree holder at least. Okay, if you hold a management degree, that becomes an added advantage because in a way you have studied about management. Okay, but if you have some experience, that can also be a criteria for you for getting into a BA. But there are even jobs where they look out for the business analyst in companies like McDonald's. So McDonald's is looking out for sales BA. KFC is looking out for sales BAs. Even into Emirates, even into companies like Amazon, everywhere there is a huge requirement for the BA. Okay, so BA is something, a career which is emerging into market like anything, and that is the reason there is so much of demand for BA in the market. Okay, the problem in the market is that the people are not so much familiar, they don't understand the concept for the BA. That is the biggest challenge. Second challenge in the market is that the people are facing communication challenge. Okay, third is they don't really understand what exactly BA is expected to do. There's a maturity of the role is missing. These are the three challenges why even the companies, in any kind of companies, they are missing out good BA in the market. Okay, people usually they just go blindly for this particular role, but they don't really understand what all the different roles and responsibilities that a BA can play, how you can groom your career. Okay, how you can move from one particular junior BA ladder to senior BA ladder, or senior to lead business analyst, or lead to principal business analyst, which is almost equivalent to project manager, or even to the project director. Okay, directors of the company. Okay, so these are the different ladder which you can take it as a BA. So in this particular training, initially my 3 sessions are completely dedicated to the fundamentals, building out the foundation of what BA is all about, what the rules and responsibilities of the BA that you are going to play, what exactly domain is all about, so what are the different domains that are in the market, how you can make your career into that domain. So for an example, you want to specifically looking out for healthcare. Just an example, how you can build your career into healthcare. Okay, how you can make your own career into healthcare, what are the different certifications you can do into that particular domain. Okay, how you can groom yourself, what kind of different job profile that is there in the healthcare market. Okay, so I will guide you on that I'm going to cover up. Even though if you are you're not looking for something specific, because see, for being a BA, I do not advise any of my students to go for any certifications. Okay, not required. Okay, certifications do a value add. Okay, so it's going to add value, but it's not at all mandatory for you to be business analyst certified or to be holding any other certification. Okay, if you have it, well and good. If you don't have it, it's okay. Okay. In my session thought, I'll be covering about the concepts from the IT perspective. So if any one of you is new to IT, you're at the right place, because I am dedicating one particular session for you to make you comfortable. How exactly things happen in IT, what will be your project team structure, how you're going to interact with different people, okay, what all the basics knowledge that you should be aware about, plus what are the different thumb rules that you have to take care, okay, while working as a BA. even when you interact with the client or even when you interact with any other parties. Okay. From session 4, I will be then start digging inside. So different roles that you can play as a BA. So what are the different techniques that you have to apply? How you have to handle those different roles. So enterprise is all about that. Then moving on to the bidding pass. So how exactly, these companies, they go outside the bid for the project. What is the procedure for that? What happens as a BA? Can you participate if you wanted to participate as a BA? So is it a real BA or is it going to be a sales BA? Okay, so there your role have a little tweak. You're not going to be a typical BA. You then move into a sales BA kind of role. Okay, so which all people participate in that? How exactly bidding happens? When exactly the need is being generated? Okay, when this particular idea gets kicked in the market, okay, why do they realize that they need to have another new project get started? Okay, once they have completed the entire bidding process, then they jump into the software development. So now we have got the project, now we have to start building the software, but the next question is how to build that software. Okay, now in order to build a software, there are so many different ways in the market, but we cannot go really with any kind of different models. We used to be using some specific models which are running successfully in the market, okay, or which are in demand in the market. So there are close to 5 models. So there is Waterfall, Agile, Scrum, RUP, and the last is Spiral. So 5 models I'll be covering as part of the SDLC. From session 6 till session 7, it's all about requirements. You are the best person who knows about the requirement. You know in and out about the requirement, and this is what is being expected from BA. So whenever we say requirements, we always look out for the BA. Okay, but after BA, who knows best about the requirement is the tester, because he is the person who tests the requirement which is being built by the development team. And development team, who supplied the requirements? It is the BA who supplied the requirements. And to BA, who actually supplied the requirements? It is the client who supplied it. Okay, so what are the different types of requirements, how you can segregate those, how you can identify between functional and non-functional, how you can plan, how you can manage those requirements. Okay, what are the different techniques that you have to apply to gather those requirements, to handle the client. Okay, requirement solicitation techniques, document analysis, interviewing, brainstorming, reverse engineering, all that. Okay, from session 8 till session 9, all about documents. So as a BA, what document you have to create, what document you may be helping the team to create, not really required necessarily from your end, but you can offer your extra efforts to your team. Okay, so documents like requirement traceability matrix, RTM is core document of a BA, BRD is another core document. Okay, these are the 2 documents for which BA has the complete ownership. Okay, other than that, there are other documents as well, like there is a change log, then we have something like SRS, which we call it as software requirement specification. We have stakeholder documents which project manager create in terms of the stakeholder register or the stakeholder management strategy. Okay, but as a BA, still you can contribute in that, and that's how you will be able to groom yourself and make you ready for the next ladder. Okay, I will help you to understand how those documents are being created. I'll help you to understand who is going to provide you 2 inputs to create those documents, because you cannot create any document on your own. You always need inputs for creation of any documents. Okay, and any documents that you create, you will need a cooperation from your team. Okay, because you will be putting some inputs from the technical side or from the client perspective or from your manager perspective. So you need to collect all their inputs, put it in your document, and then you call it as a BRD, or then you call it as an RTM. Okay, I'll give you all these templates. I'll give you a walkthrough with that as well. Then session 10 is all about UML. So UML is nothing. It's just in the plain language, it is a diagram. So as a BA, you also need to create certain diagrams, which is usually been required at the start of the project. You create certain diagrams in order to make people understand whomsoever get onboarded in the project. So they should be able to understand, because we know, right, picture speaks louder than words. So whatever, let's say if you are creating a document for 10 page, and on the other hand, if you just create an image which is of 1 page, if you look at image and if you look at 10 page of documents, obviously you will prefer picture first, and picture will give you a lot of understanding. At least it will give you a snippet, it will give you an overview. Okay, this is how your project is going to look alike, or this is how the expectation is from the client. Okay, so UML plays a very important part. So I'll be giving you some couple of tools additional for your practice, plus there is couple of tools which I will advise you to download on your system. We will be going through some couple of case studies. Okay, Session 11, requirements verification sign off, I will be covering parallelly with the above requirements document. Okay, so the last session will be that is session 12. It will be completely dedicated to testing. Okay, so what testing is all about, what are the different types of testing, okay, what are the different testing levels, how you can plan for those testing. Okay, this is an completely an additional information, okay, this part. But I'm just covering it for you because I want you to be knowing about it, how exactly this happens in IT companies, okay? And as a BA, you can also make your career into testing, okay? So this particular training is not only going to help you to make your career into BA, but also it will help you to understand how you can switch or wear multiple hats by still being a BA. Okay, so how you can move your career ladder from one particular role as a BA to tester or BA to consultant or BA to any other role. Okay, all the topics that you need for the studying, you'll get sufficient study materials from my end. Other than this training, I don't advise my student to go ahead and buy any pad. Okay, you'll get all the PPT, whatever that I'm going to show it on you on the screen, everything will be shared with you. Okay, all the ebooks will be shared with you. You'll be sharing somewhere around 12 to 15 ebooks. I will tell you which ebook which you need to read. Okay, and interview job preparation will be there from the day one. Okay, and once we are towards that completion of the training, then there is a resume preparation next, which I will help you to understand how you have to build your resume as a BA. Okay, so that it will be helpful for you if, let's say, 6 months down the line you're working in some company and your contract is over, and then you want to again look out for the job. So you don't need to approach any consultancy for building your resume. You will be able to build your resume on your own. Okay, that's all from my end. Prakhar, you have any questions?
Hello?
Yeah,
No
Prakhar,
questions yet. Thank you very much for the update. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll proceed. Prakhar, if you want, you can stay and you can continue for today's session, and you will have a more feel about how exactly the session is going to be. So let's get started. So I may be jumbling up the topics here and there by considering the participants and by considering what background that you're coming. So before I proceed, Prakhar, can I have a quick round of introduction from your end? So I would like to understand your experience. I would like to understand your education and what exactly you're looking out from this particular training, because this will help me to guide you accordingly from the day one. Rather than me guiding you towards the end of the training, I want you to start thinking from the B angle from the day one. Okay, so can you, yeah.
So basically, I'm an Oracle developer, and for last some time I've been working in PeopleSoft background. But I have now I'm getting the opportunity to work as a BA, as a functional role. So, but I'm trying to, that's why I'm trying to get a formal BA understanding of how a BA is supposed to work and document things and what is really expected of a BA. So basically, the opportunity which I'm getting is not really based on my BA skills. It's actually based on my knowledge of because the client I've working with the client for a little bit longer, almost 2 years, so they kind of trust me. So I'm getting that opportunity, but I want to do a proper BA induction, so to speak. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
For engineering, for my education, I've obviously done my Bachelor of Engineering, and that's it from India.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So if I'm not wrong, then I think you might be somewhere based out in US.
Actually, not. I'm actually in right now in Brisbane, in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah. But my friends in US, I've had friends in US, and they're the one who actually introduced me to this course. I was in US for a short period of time, but then I got a project here, so I moved here.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, and how did you got to know about my training? Was it through some of your friends?
Yeah, I have a friend called Venkat. I'm not sure if what kind of, but he's the one who actually recommended this for almost. I've been looking for someone in this direction for almost a month or more than that, but it just came up, and even though I wasn't totally ready to start the training right away, but because of his recommendation and your prompt response, I thought, I'll just start. At least
Okay.
I'll join this one today,
Okay.
and yeah, and maybe we can take a couple of things offline as to if there are any other earlier timings or later timings you have.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
based out of India, right?
Yeah, I'm based out of India. Yeah.
Yeah, because here it's like 2 o'clock in the night. So for today it's
Oh.
fine, but yes, we might have
Oh,
to work
I'm
something out, but
really
that's fine.
sorry for this.
No, that's all right. Not at all. You shouldn't be sorry, but
Yeah,
I'm just saying
I was under
we
the
might.
impression that you are from US, so I thought probably it's going to be a suitable time. So I'm really sorry for this.
No, not at all. It shouldn't be, but I'm just saying I'm glad you have a couple of other options. But again, as I said, we can take this offline. I don't want Ramesh to be bothered because of this.
No problem. Okay, all right. So I think okay. So probably after this training, and you can sleep well, and then probably we can connect again tomorrow, and then you can mail me, and then we can discuss further.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks.
Okay, let's started with our first topic. So before that, let's get started with our first topic is IT companies. So I'm sure Prakhar, you are into IT companies. So for you, I think it's going to be a cakewalk, very easy for you. Okay, so let's get started. So let's see what are the different types of companies that are available in the market. Okay, so there are there are many different types of companies. There are companies who build their own product and they sell it. Okay, they have the ownership of what they build. Okay, then there are second type of company where they build it and they hand it over back to its owner. Okay, so these are the two types of companies. And as a BA, you have huge scope. Even if you work in application development company, which are the people who build it and they hand it over back to its owner, or even in the product-based company. But if you're looking basically, so I'm talking more from the job perspective also. If you're looking for job change also, so I want to talk from that perspective for your future reference. So if you're looking for good place, in order to learn, in order to get good package, then you should go for application development company. Okay, they gives you a lot of opportunities because they keep on getting different contacts. So 1 year you may land up working for bank. Okay, second year you may land up working for insurance company. It gives you a lot of opportunities. Okay, whereas in product development company is also a good company. I'm not saying they are a bad company, but they will be limited. They will be very much restricted to what they offer as a product to its customer. Okay, for an example, the Microsoft Office, which was being used 15 years back, is also being used currently, right? It's just that the new version has come, which is having much more additional features. Plus, it's more user friendly. But the end product will remain the same, right? We are just doing enhancements. We are not creating something innovative. We may be creating as a new products which are coming as into Microsoft, but we'll keep on upgrading those versions. Okay, so from the BA perspective, what is expected from a BA into application development is that you should be very much flexible. Let's say you are working in Accenture. Accenture is a consultancy-based company. Okay, they are the company who build the software for the organization or for the client, and they hand it over back to them. They don't have the ownership. They don't have the control of what they build it. Okay, they are more or less, you can call them as a third party, you can call them as a vendor, you can call them as a contractor. They come into picture, they build it and they go it back. Okay, they will give it to you and then they move out. Okay, so ownership will still remain with the client. Okay, so in a way you can say that they are third party, they are the contractor for Oracle or for IBM or for Microsoft. That's how they're able to make the money. Okay. In terms of the career path, if you want to see, you may have a lot of different opportunities in application development company, whereas in product development company, if you work on into one specific department, then they usually don't change your department. Okay, because they prefer people who should be staying in that particular department or specifically do that particular product for at least 8 years or 9 years. Whereas every year in application development companies like Accenture, Capgemini, McKinsey, all these companies, they gives you a lot of opportunities every year. Okay, but you don't get this kind of flexibility. Okay, so at the end of the day, it is the product development company, that is, it is Google, it is Microsoft, okay, who come with their idea, who invest in their idea, okay, but now it's the final call from them whether they want to build the software on their own or do they want to outsource it. The moment they think of outsourcing it, then the, you know, all these IT companies, they come into picture. If they don't want to outsource it, if they want to build in-house, then in that case the IT company has no picture inside it. Okay, so as a BA, you can also take up the role of subject matter expert, because that is what you become after practicing into same particular product or after practicing into same particular domain. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, and those people are, you know, they grow a lot in that same organization. Okay, they will be called as key subject matter expert or just subject matter expert or even senior subject matter experts. That is another role that you can take it as a BA. Okay, so BA role into product development company, you should be very much knowing about features, domains, you should understand the client requirements very well. Whereas in application development company, they expect you to be flexible. They expect you to be fast learner. As long as you have the skills, you know how to deal with the client, they are fine with that. Because it's not at all a surety that, you know, this year you're working into banking, next year you will also be working for banking. You may be given a different opportunities. Okay, well, because they keep on getting the project, so whatever project that they will be getting it, they will put you into that. So they expect you to be a fast learner. A little bit of proactiveness is required. You should be able to learn on yourself also, because they might not be even able to teach you everything. They might be conducting couple of trainings, but they won't be able to feed you entirely.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the different types of development units. So what are the different development units that are there in the market? Okay, in a way we are trying to understand that why exactly we are having different development centers. Okay, so first of all, there are projects where the companies, they want to build a project from scratch. That means there is no existence for it. Like for an example, we just have a vendor called as Amazon, but we don't have that vendor's website. So we want to build that website. So this is an example for the project from scratch. Okay, if you get a project from scratch, you get to know a lot about it. Okay, because you are the person who will be defining those requirements. You are the person who is going to write those requirements in the different business requirements form. Okay, there can be second kind of project where the Amazon website is already existing. Okay, and you're just trying to create the 24/7 chat support system. So this is more of the enhancement projects. So these kind of projects are also existing. Or there can be another enhancement project, or it can be more of the transformation project, which are, you know, these days are huge in the market because there are so many new upcoming technologies like cloud, big data, Salesforce. Now companies wants to move into different technologies which are, you know, going to save a lot of revenue. Right, so that's how, you know, the another concept where they migrate from one technology to another technology. So in those kind of projects, you can see the end product. Okay, you will have the feel of the end product. You can see the live end product with you. Plus, whatever the documents which was being created when that particular end product was being, you know, prepared, you will have those references as well. So that time in those situations, BA works get little smoother. But if the project is from scratch, then the BA needs to work a lot. Okay. Third kind of project could be, let's say we have a client based on.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for something like big data or companies getting into new technology, is the knowledge of that functionality or new technology mandatory or kind of required to
No,
become a BA?
not required. Not required at all.
Not necessarily. Okay.
No. See, but if you hold a technical knowledge and you still don't want to leave a technical work and you also want to get into functional work, what you can do is that you can look out for technical functional BA.
Okay.
Okay, so you will be called as big data business analyst. So even this is a kind of job tag is also available. Okay, why don't you just go ahead and explore glassdoor.com? It will give you a lot of options.
Which is it again? Glass2.
Yeah, I'll just type in the chat. For yes, for you also, I would suggest you if you just start a website. Okay, this the website name is glassdoor.com.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Glassdoor.
Yeah, these websites will help you a lot. Let's say you are in, okay, and now in order to go for the interview for the IBM, you're not really sure how exactly IBM interview is going to be. So this website will help you to get some interview reviews. So people who have recently interviewed or who have interviewed couple of years, so people go there, they post their interview experience. People who post their work experience, people already working, they might have also provided some inputs. Okay, even you can also even get the jobs. So that company, that location can get the job.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this information. So keep a watch on this website. It will be really helpful to you. Sometimes you get to know about the
Right.
people. Sometimes the people experience are not good. So what they do, they go there, they put down the name of that HR or whomsoever has taken the interview, and they put the comments right away that this person has was so and so, or he has been asking so and so questions in the interview, or this is their interview procedure. So rather than you getting a complete surprise, you get a feel for it, you prepare accordingly, and then you go.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I was talking about the development units. So two types of projects we talked about. Third type of project could be, let's say we have the client which is based out of in New Zealand. Okay. And we have our headquarters in Australia. So now the client every time needs to travel to Australia, or some of your representative from Australia is required to travel to New Zealand. So it's a cumbersome activity, right? So maybe if you are having that particular client for a longer duration, or if you see a lot of scope of work from New Zealand, then the idea would be from that organization would be to establish a small development center in New Zealand. That's how they will be able to earn money, because these days clients wants to see their contractor next to them, and that is why the IT companies are expanding their business. So now you name any of the good MNC, they will have presence in every country. May not be applicable to every city, but at least they will have one or two city presence in every country. At least the main core cities which are really popular in that country.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's see the hierarchy. So what is going to be the hierarchy? Okay. So CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Below CEO, we have the another Chief Officer whom reports directly to CEO. So we have CIO, who is called as I is for the information. Okay, COO, O is for operation, CTO, T is for technical, and F is for financials. Okay, so all the team members falling under CFA, okay, or probably CA, they fall under this particular group. Okay, they'll be reporting to CFO. Okay, all the people belonging to technology, so like you talked about big data, Hadoop, Salesforce, any other technologies, they will have a hierarchy which will be reporting to CTO.
Okay.
Okay, anything from the sales, bidding, marketing manager, account, business development executive, the people who go outside and bid for the project, they are the people responsible to bring more projects in the organization. They will be falling under COO. Okay, business development, account management. Okay, and the last is CIO. So business analyst teams fall under CIO. Okay, so like I said, as a BA, you can get the highest designation as principal BA, and if you work as a principal BA, then you may directly report to CIO, which is Chief Information Officer, or you may be directly reporting to the project director or the organization director. In some companies, principal BA is also equivalent to project director. So company to company depends.
Okay.
Okay. So if you are a BA and if you are working for one project, then you will be reporting to a project manager. But there is also a situation where one BA is working for multiple projects, because you are there in that organization for a long time, or you are a very expert BA. So you are providing your support to additional 2-3 more projects. So in that case, you will report to your senior BA or lead BA, whomsoever is your senior.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about why exactly the project is getting initiated. So we know one could be that client himself is realizing that I want to start a new project. I have a certain requirement. I see a business scope. I see a bright future in this particular technology. So I should, probably get started. Another reason could be there is a third party. So third party could be I will again give you some company example. So companies like Gartner, companies like PwC, okay, companies like Deloitte, these companies, they go outside. They are also consultancy company, but these companies they go outside, they will do a market research. Let's say they do a market research on Microsoft. Why Microsoft is not having a good presence in Europe? Okay, so some of the consultancy they have done the research, and then how they came to a conclusion that Microsoft probably should go ahead and purchase Nokia. And that's how, because Nokia was also not doing good in the market, and Microsoft purchased Nokia, and now it's no more Nokia, it's Microsoft phones, because they didn't have any presence in phones. And that's how they are trying to give a competition to Apple, which is in a way is a threat to Microsoft. Okay, so it can be a third party who is making client realize that you have scope for the another project. Okay, this is bidding part. I'm just skipping these two slides. I'll explain you later. Let's see what is a BA proportion in projects. So how many BAs in a project? So if you have 100 members, then out of those 100 members, 12 to 16% should be BA. Okay, so that means you are not going to be a single BA working into the project. Okay, as long as you have a very small team. But if you have a minimum 50 members, 40 members, then you will have a good decent number of BAs working along with you. Okay, so must be somewhere around 8 to 10 must be you can expect, okay, of the team of 50. So whatever that you are going to learn as a BA, not really required or not really necessary that you will practice it all, because since you work into a team, then maybe the entire work will get distributed to the team members, and you will just only land up practicing 20% or 25% of what you are going to learn. Okay. Plus the duration, let's say if the project is starting from January, okay, and the project is ending till December. So initially 3 to 4 months is the main work of the BA. Okay, 3 to 4 months you really have to work hard. Okay, so 3 to 4 months you work hard, then you work smart. Why? Because as a BA, 70 to 75% of the work is being done in the initial months, and then after that you actually work as a project coordinator. More of a coordinator, more of a mediator, more to act as the bridge between your client and the development team. Okay. So let's see what is exactly your project size. Okay, so we work from 9 to 6, and all these 9 to 6 we have 1 hour as the lunch time. So those 8 hours that we work becomes your man hours. So this is another terminology which is being used in IT industry. Okay, so when you count on hours becomes man hours. When you count on months, like 1 month becomes 1 man hour, man months. Okay, so usually it is being said that the project size, if it is somewhere between 500 or 800, it's called a small project. Okay, so you can calculate man hours for yourself for 1 day. So you can calculate man hours for 1 month. So in a way you can calculate how many people can be usually be there if the project is of somewhere around 800 man hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, medium size project will be somewhere around 500 to 1000. So this can be your interview question. Okay, so they give you an opportunity to ask, right? Do you have any question for me? So at that time, in order to just get a feel of what kind of project they will be putting you into, if you are comfortable, if you are confident, I would suggest you ask this question to them. Okay, ask them what is the man hours that we are expecting for the project for which I'm getting hired. If they say the man hours is somewhere around 2000, that means the project is very big. Okay, so the project is very big, your duration will be big. Okay, if you work as a contractor or even if you work as an individual, okay, the project will be for the longer duration. If they say like 1000, 1500, 1200, then it will be a medium-sized project. Okay. Now let's look into the different types of projects. There are many different types of projects in the market, but mostly they land up into two. First is called as fixed bid. Second is or you can call them as bid. So fixed bid, 1 year, $100 what the company is paying. Okay, so in 1 year, the company expects that the project should get completed within that particular cost. If the IT company is spending more than money, then the IT company needs to pay the cost. Client will not pay any money. Okay. Also, if the project is delayed by 1 year, then in that case there will be penalty charges to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what happens with fixed project. Now we call it as time material. So time and material is like, they'll be working on hourly basis or they might be working on daily work basis. Okay, so they will have a daily allowance. Okay,
Okay.
so let's
Okay.
so now they see on this is the billing rate which IT company takes from the client. This is what not the actually is being given to BA, okay, or to project manager or whomsoever. Okay, this is what client is giving to IT company. So project manager, it starts from $120 per hour. It can go up to 200 to 50, depends on the experience and the expertise. Solution architecture is somewhere around 150, 180, 200, depends on because it's a very important role, crucial role. Okay, anything from the programming side like software engineer, senior software engineer, they start from $50 and to $80, $75 or $100 per hour. Okay, now you might be thinking there is no package for BA over here. Why? Because BA starts from 50 and start from 80. It can go land up to $350 per hour. Okay, completely depends on what skill set he is having and what kind of presentation for him is being provided to the client. So basically how IT company is trying to sell his BA to the client.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's look into what all be the different reasons for the project failure, why any project can fail. We have not we were not really sure of what we are building it. Now, for this also there can be two reasons. Maybe they done his job very well, he has not gathered the requirements pretty well, or it can also be where uh, we have not got the proper clarity from the client. He has not participated well in the requirements gathered, provided as the cooperation that we needed from him. Okay, or it can be a situation where the requirements will keep on changing every month, and every time client used to say does not accept it, and he always used to say this is what not I was expecting. There was a constant change. It can be a situation where client was not at all involved. Okay, he has been completely given to us end to end, but we cannot really think from the client angle, otherwise we would have been client himself, right?
Yeah. Okay.
On where we required a lot of support from the senior management, but we are not getting that kind of okay. It could be the project is going to take 1 year and the client wants you to build in 6 months. Okay, or if there is not a proper planning. So these are the core reasons for the project failure. Now, what are the different quality done in the project? So there are many different audits. So first of all, any organization that you work for, it's okay to go through a CMMI level audit. So CMMI body, they are the people who award the idea of what particular level that they belong. So its level start from level 1, it is the lowest level, and level 5 is the highest level. So companies like MNC were running in industry for almost 80, 50 or very long time, or they have the maturity, they know how to work, their working style, or they are following all the industry process. They have a lot of clients, they have done a lot of projects. Those kind of companies are being awarded with level 5. Startup, they'll be provided with level 1. Then slowly they will move on to level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. So there is a proper procedure for CMMI. You have to fill up the form, you have to provide all the evidence. Then the CMMI committee will be coming to a company, they'll be doing an audit, and they may be doing audit for a couple of times, and after that uh, they will award you with that particular level. Sometimes it happens that the company is working on level 5 or level 3, let's say level 3, but they have just filed for level 1. But if the company is doing well and it has been also observed in audit, then the CMMI body will directly award them to level 3 rather than level 1. Okay. As a we can also participate in such activities. That's the reason why I'm discussing it here. Okay, if you are interested.
Okay.
Okay, but if
Okay.
you're interested, then you have to show your interest to your project manager so that he makes sure that he is making you participate in certain activities. Again, we have ISO
Okay.
standards. So we know ISO, International Standard of Organization. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
usually ISO is only been given to the companies, or not to the companies. It also been given to the companies, but to the projects where the client specifically needs his particular project or his software to be ISO certified. Okay, so if client is expecting for the software to be ISO certified, then it has to be a part of the contract. If it is not signed in the contract, then the IT company is not at all liable to make the software as ISO certified. Okay, because again there is a proper audit in place, just like CMMI.
Okay. Are these standards same for all the application companies and the development companies? Because these standards differ from company to company, right?
Yes,
Hello?
yes. Okay, but whatever the standard, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can now.
Yeah, but whatever is the standard, it has to be set by the client. It has to be a part of the contract. If it is not a part of the contract, because it comes with a cost, they have to call up these, first of all, they have to make sure that their quality is as per that standard that is required. Then they have to conduct a lot of external audits. So it comes with huge cost. And if the client is not paying you the cost, it does not make sense for the IT company to do any of these quality.
Okay.
Okay. And the last that we have, we call it as a Six Sigma.
Hmm.
So Six Sigma, when we say our project is Six Sigma, we simply mean that our project is 99.99% defects free.
Okay.
Okay, that means there is still a chance for the project, sorry, for a defect, but that will be 1 in million. Okay, so Six Sigma says the project is 99.99967% defect free. Okay, so for this also there is an external Six Sigma body who comes, they do the audit, and then only they award it. Okay, so again this has been done for the project, or it's also been done for the organization level also. So whatever is required, it has to be part of the contract.
Okay.
Okay, servers information I'm just skipping for now. I'll cover that in the next session. Okay, so what are the different thumb rules that you need to follow as a BA? Very important. Requirements hurried, project buried. So make sure you are taking sufficient time for understanding those client requirements, documenting those client requirements. Okay, never criticize any of your team members, never criticize client. You may never know whom you may land up getting what kind of support. Okay, so never take tensions. You may be into a situation where you get into a lot of escalations or there's a lot of work pressure. Okay, but never take it to your heart. Sometimes it happens, there's a lot of pressure, but whenever you feel to the right people, when team is not building it, you get all these particular pressure and tension. Okay, be like a lotus in mud, solve client problems only by our IT solution. That means try to get more projects, okay, sell more from your organization. Okay, client feel that we have a lot of scope of uh, lot we can, okay, just not that one particular software, we can add more to it. Okay, because when you think from more, that's how we get more money. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So couple of do's and don'ts as a BA, what you need to do. So never say no to client. Okay, there is no world called as by default. Because my by default definition will differ from your by default definition.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Again, my imagination will differ from your imagination. Okay, so never imagine anything in terms of GUI. GUI is called as graphical user interface. Okay, so question as much as you can. Okay, so it's not really necessary that whatever client is going to give you, it is always correct. It's not at all necessary. Okay, so whenever you have certain questions, okay, you will be assigned with some couple of subject matter expert. If you are working into product based company, or if you're working into IT company also, you will have SME from both the end. SME from your organization and SME from the client side also. So client side SME will help you to understand the client business or what kind of expectations that they have. Your internal SME will help you to understand what kind of or what way, if any questions you have specific to domains. Okay, because there are so many domains in the market.
Okay. Okay.
Not really necessary for here you may work for banking, next year you may work for it, right? So how many domains will it be reduced to master?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Okay.
Swati.
So whenever you go and
Can you hear me, Swati? Hello.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was some distance in your voice. Yeah, you can get in now.
Okay. So I was saying, whenever you go for any of these client visit, okay, please make sure you go with a plain mind. Okay. Don't do any and don't have any kind of assumptions. Okay. Always go with a plain mind. Ask those questions, whatever the questions that you have, ask them the questions one by one. Give your client sufficient time to answer them. Okay, make notes. Okay, the more notes you make in the meeting time, the more beneficial for you. So for this, you should be having very good listening skills, very good writing skills. Okay, writing with the high speed is very much required. Okay.
Okay.
And whenever you're going to meet, let's say you're going to meet the client for 30 minutes. So design your 30 minutes. Okay. So initially 10 minutes, for an example, initial 10 minutes, you're going to ask a lot of questions with the client. Then next 10 minutes, you are going to ask the follow-up questions, which has come from the previous questions, which he has answered. And the last 10 minutes, you will wrap up. So that's how you have to design your 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Try to extract as much as information from the client itself. Try to have these consensus or agreement in that meeting itself in those 30 minutes. That will be beneficial for you. Otherwise, later on you will go back and then again you will come to agreement. So this will take back and forth. It will consume your time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So these are some couple of do's and don'ts that is required for a B.
Okay.
Okay. So that's all from the IT company's perspective. If you have any questions?
Nothing as of now, but once I go through this again, maybe I'll have some for tomorrow.
No problem. In between also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email. I will be able to answer your questions on the email also.
Yeah, that I will. Yeah.
Okay. Prakhar, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions here.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's all for today. I'm just keeping initial sessions as light. Once you're comfortable, then we'll start digging more inside each and every topics. But if you have questions, please feel free to drop me an email.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Okay, Ria. So I'll see you tomorrow, and Prakhar, then probably I'll connect with you tomorrow or whenever you are available.
Okay. And
Okay,
sorry,
fine.
tomorrow
Then
it
I'll
is
just send you an
9:15,
email.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Riyaz.
And can I ask one question? I just see this on the right side saying the session is being recorded. So all these sessions are normally recorded, and we have access to it later on.
No, I do not provide any recordings of these sessions. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask me those questions.
Okay.
I think that there is some technical issue. That's the reason it is showing.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right.
Yeah. But if you have any questions, anything, please feel free to ask me a number of times. Okay. I'm just associated with a couple of international bodies, so hence I cannot provide any of my recordings.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay.
Oh, but even after the course, you would be able to help, or how does it normally work?
Yeah, we can talk about it, Prakash. Then
Okay,
once
no
you
worries.
can
Okay.
update me, then accordingly we can talk about it.
Okay. Okay, sure. I'll send you an email tomorrow morning, and
No
then
problem.
then we'll coordinate.
No problem. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot for the training.
Okay. Thanks, Prakash. Thanks, Riyaz. Have a very good
Okay.
day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't have any questions. that's all for today. I'm just keeping additional sessions as like once you're comfortable, then we start taking more insight each and every topic. But if you have questions, please feel free to stop me. Yeah. Sure. Okay, that's all. See you tomorrow. And Dr. There's no topic. I'll connect with you tomorrow. Everybody,